What is going on, guys? Thanks for tuning
What's
in.
up, guys?
Now we have a 6-game slate, similar to yesterday. A lot of pending injury news. So if you're not used
we
to
just
it,
got a bunch of news.
and if I was just saying,
Yeah,
it,
Jimmy's out.
Jimmy's out. Okay, so that's good. Good start to the stream then. We have a lot of numbers to crunch.
Good. Crowder good.
Okay. You guys are going to be living through the stress with us, so this is a great stream. Yesterday, let's talk about yesterday. Yesterday, we had a ton of good picks, but we also had a ton of bad picks. A nice mix. The chalk did not hit yesterday, and for people who play cash, I'm sorry. For people who play GPPs, that you had a very good day. Finney Smith was on fire yesterday, and we do suspect him to stay that way today. We're going to talk about that further. TJ, how's your day going?
It's good. It's good. No more volleyball for me. We're out. So
yeah, how was that? You didn't even tell me about that.
The team we played that we beat in the regular season brought in a ringer in playoffs, and it was just this like 6'3" wicked athletic kid that could just spike and block and set and serve, and he was very good. So we lost.
I'm sorry to hear that. I know that you were. Are
you drinking another claw?
Yeah, just one.
Guys, I think Matt is turning into an alcoholic. So may need a new host.
It's NBA. It's NBA DFS that does it to me, and it's literally one. So, we're going to be crunching some numbers here on the Heat. We just got the Embiid news. Let's look at this list because this list is very intriguing. We have Rudy Gobert still questionable. We have what's up with Nunn and Hero?
Nunn's good. Hero's good. Everybody's good except for Butler.
Except for Butler. Okay,
I'm interested. Just waiting to see if. Oh, okay. DFS now listed questionable for Wednesday with a hip injury.
Great. So one of my favorite picks on the slate just got real questionable. Terry Rozier's probable. Bruce Brown still questionable, right?
Yep.
All right. So as you guys know, I had to pull up that list just to look at it. So also, guys, let me know. I know the stream's been giving us trouble right at the beginning, but after that, it seems to be completely fine. I'm showing no dropped scenes whatsoever. So guys, stay with us. Let me know if everything's good, including our mics. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it, TJ. As of right now, let's assume that Finney Smith is in until we hear further notice. We already crunched. Yeah, we already crunched all the numbers there. Do you want to start in Philly since you just got done with Philly?
Yeah. I mean, we're still waiting to see if Embiid's going to be on a minute restriction or not. They haven't pegged at 30 right now. It's his first game back in a little bit, so we'll have to wait and see if he plays 30 or not. But yeah, I don't really have any interest in any of these Philly guys. The only guy that I would really consider right now would be Josh Richardson. I liked him a little more if Embiid sat. But yeah, I'm not going to sit here and waste everybody's time and start talking up some of these Philly guys. I mean, Tobias and Al are definitely overpriced now, especially with Embiid back. I called you on the phone on the way home from work, and it was interesting. Since Embiid and I guess you could say Josh Richardson and Simmons have been out February 26th, Philly ranks last in defensive efficiency. So that kind of throws my stat out the window. I was going to talk about how Philly hasn't been very good defensively with those three guys off the court, and especially Embiid and Simmons. But yeah, that's kind of out the window. So yeah, I no real interest for me in terms of cash for these guys. GPP, yeah, I guess those guards, Richardson and Shake, but that's it.
Yeah, they either have to go
unless we get news that Embiid's going to be limited to like 20 minutes somehow. Then yeah, that might shake things up. But
yeah, these guys would have to score like 120 points or somebody else to be ruled out for me to have any interest in Philly. You're going to really have to just guess if you're going to take this route for GPP. I guess Josh Richardson is the only guy that I'm really looking at 5.2, but even that's a stretch. Philly, not happy with Philly and the price tags at all. Let's go over to Detroit. Detroit, we know that Henson is ruled out. A couple other guys are still out for these guys. We're still pending the injury news on Bruce Brown, which is actually pretty huge too. We have Blake Griffin, Rose, Kennard. Obviously, Drummond and Jackson are gone too. So we take all those guys off the court. What's up?
And Markieff Morris.
And Morris, yep. McCord here, 22 minutes, 6.7 point per dollar value here on our sheet. He is probably going to start. I don't think that's confirmed as of right now, but right now he's going to be fairly chalky. We know that once he's on the court, he averages close to a fantasy point per minute, so obviously not a bad play. Going against Embiid, though, is the only hesitation I have. Could get in early foul trouble. Of course, they don't really have anybody else. It's McCord and Wood tonight. So I do suspect he should have a fairly good game just being out there in general. Christian Wood obviously has been killing it. 35 minutes, averaging 1.2 something fantasy points per minute. 5.6 point per dollar value here. Brandon Knight is still a very good GPP option. I know he slowed down last game. He came back down to earth, but even then, when he came back down to earth here, he still had value. So 30, 36, 25, again, in a good, well, a decent spot. I guess now he's slowed down with Embiid back, but Simmons is still gone, so take that as you will. I mean, I still like Brandon Knight for GPPs. I like McCore for cash, and I think Wood, you can go either way. TJ, what are your thoughts on this roster?
I actually hadn't done Detroit because I was just pending, obviously, Bruce Brown, but I just did it right now thinking Bruce Brown is going to play. So if you give me just 2 seconds, I'm almost done. 18.9. Dumboya, where are you? There you are. 0.6 fantasy points per minute. Very productive. And Thon, Mr. McCore is, wow, very good. Okay. So based on this, I took off, obviously, we got D Rose, we got Blake out, Henson, and Kennard. And then I took off Drummond, Reggie Jackson, and Markieff Morris. Christian Wood at 8,100. If he's projected at 35 minutes, he gets a 5.9% usage bump, averages 1.35 fantasy points per minute, garnishes a 29.2% usage rate. Maddie rates out to a 6.17 on our sheet. I have him pegged currently at 50 DraftKings points.
Yeah.
Tough matchup now that Embiid's back. If Embiid wasn't playing, I would have loved Christian Wood tonight. I definitely still like him as a GPP play. If he's going to be chalky too, I really wouldn't mind rostering him in cash, but I think there's better avenues that you can go to tonight. I'm not really too high on Detroit. Brandon Knight, again, 1% usage bump with those guys off the court, averages 1.16 fantasy points per minute since he's gotten here. Here is in Detroit. 25% usage rate as well, 6.9 on our sheet, so very high. Mikhailou, 0.92 fantasy points per minute, 6.1 on our sheet. And then Thon McCore, yeah, if he starts at 3,100, I know now that Embiid's playing, it's kind of a little more but 22 minutes, averages 1.01 fantasy points per minute with all those guys off the court. He's a 7 on our sheet. So those definitely are guys that I would like to target. I assume that if Thon plays and starts, he'll be very chalky in terms of cash, and it's a really good spend down spot for a guy that's starting. So I would expect him to hit value and probably a core 4 for me tonight for cash. But yeah, those other guys, I'm interested to see what Christian Wood's ownership will look like on Roto before the slate starts. Because if it's low, like maybe because Embiid's going to play, it might fluctuate a little bit and go dip a little. So I definitely want to keep an eye on that. But I'll definitely have interest in him. I'll definitely have interest in Brandon Knight. Definitely interest in Thon McCore. Galloway, too, a little bit. I mean, 0.77 fantasy points per minute, gets a 3% usage bump, 19% usage rate, which was actually higher than I anticipated. So not bad. And then Mikhailou, I'll take some shots on, I guess. But yeah, I don't want to fall too in love with this Detroit team just because, you know, if Embiid was out, yeah, I would have liked it a little more. I feel like the over would have been a pretty good play. But I definitely have more interest in games like New Orleans and Sacramento, Dallas and Denver, and so on. So
yeah, for sure. When you take a look at Detroit, I think there's some sneaky options here for GPP. I think the cash, you just kind of plug and play. I know McCore's not in the best position. But yeah, I mean, I do like some GPP options here from Detroit for sure. Switching over to where I guess we can go anywhere. We can go to Dallas. You want to talk about Dallas? Somebody said that Finney Smith is actually not... he's probably not going to play. So I guess we can consider him out.
He's not going to play?
Somebody said that. Can we get that confirmation from the chat?
Well, I mean, I see that he's questionable on Fantasy Labs. I haven't seen anything else. I'm going to read the blurb right now. It says Finney Smith is a late addition to the injury report and is questionable to play on Wednesday. Okay. So KP will rest, and obviously Seth is out. Doesn't say anything else.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and just assume he's still questionable. If you guys hear any news on that, feel free to go ahead and let us know. So with Dallas, you want to talk about Dallas right now?
Yeah, we can talk about Dallas.
So you take the current injuries off the court. I guess I can go through them because there's just such a long list here. We have Powell, Brunson, Curry, Porzingis. Willie Cauley-Stein is probable. I'm clicking on it now. Yeah, probable, and
Gilchrist are both probable.
Both probable. Okay, so it's just Powell, Brunson, Curry, and Porzingis. You take those guys off the court, and Finney Smith averages close to a fantasy point per minute at 7.4 point per dollar value. Kleber also does pretty well on our sheet, but is not as good of a play as Finney Smith, at least according to our sheet. Now, they're practically the same as far as the price tag. I love them both. I just want to say that now. But because of the ownership in Finney Smith, I like him more for a GPP option. Looks like Kleber's going to carry the higher ownership, which makes him more cash viable. However, I don't mind either one of these guys in our cash lineup. Bobin, TJ, I actually just saw this for the very first time. He's showing 25%.
25% ownership in GPPs?
Yeah.
That high?
Yeah, 25%.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if he gets a run, you know how productive he is.
We do, and that's also in the past. Like this season, he's not as good. I mean, he used to average like close to 1.5 fantasy points per minute. It was something ridiculous like that. You used to compare him to AD as far as his production. But Doncic, obvious pay option on the slate without Porzingis, not as good as he's been doing or as he has in the past with Porzingis out. I like Doncic a lot still. 36 minutes. He's going to be fairly chalky. He's going to be the highest owned stud on the slate. And then Tim Hardaway. Obviously with Tim Hardaway, I didn't even calculate his numbers. He's usually, Roto usually has him pegged higher than what our sheet says anyway. So I strictly just consider him GPP. As we know, Tim Hardaway obviously is a shooter. We know that a lot of his output is by shooting strictly, so not a high usage guy. However, I do like Tim Hardaway for GPPs. What's your take? I want to hear your take because I haven't talked to you about Dallas yet.
Well, it's pretty. I mean, we got to wait and see what's going on with DFS now. Because if he's out, that's huge. That could definitely mean more minutes for a guy like Boban. So we'll have to keep that in our back pocket and see what develops over this next hour-ish. But yeah, before that injury news, I obviously liked Dorian Finney-Smith. Averages 0.85 fantasy points per minute with all those injuries you alluded to. He's a 6.9 on our sheet. Not a very big usage guy, but the minutes are going to be there for him, so that's definitely why we like him at 4,400. Kleber, as you said, he'll start for – sorry, I keep looking at my phone waiting for other injury news, but it's all about tomorrow. We don't care about tomorrow. Kleber at 4,600, he'll start for Porzingis, gets a 1.3% usage bump, 0.92 fantasy points per minute. The minutes will be there. He's definitely going to be very chalky in terms of cash. So I obviously like him. And then, yeah, you made it clear Luka is the spend up for tonight without Porzingis or all those guys, Seth Curry, what have you. 1.8% usage bump, 1.74 fantasy points per minute, and he garnishes a 38.6% usage rate in totality. 5.8 on her sheet. I definitely like Luka at 11K. It's rare for those high-priced guys to show over a 5.5 on the sheet that Matt and I utilize every day. So, yeah, that's kind of the three guys that I really like. You mentioned Hardaway as a GPP play. I definitely don't mind that. But yeah, the DFS news is going to be huge. So we got to wait and see what's going on with him and if he's going to be in or out.
If he is ruled out, I mean, it's going to switch up a lot here. I mean, the minutes are probably going to go to somebody like Justin Jackson. I mean, Delon Wright could get an increase in minutes. Also, TJ, if you could check your phone too.
No, I saw it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I guess moving on from Dallas, until we hear that Finney Smith news, it's just like it's kind of up in the air with Dallas. But Dallas is a great play regardless of the Finney Smith news. So let's go ahead and move on. I actually have them rated as one of my top stacks. I won't say who I'm going to stack, but I'll save that for Patreon. But I do like Dallas. I like Dallas. They're at 109, which isn't that bad going against Denver. Denver's actually been playing at a higher pace recently. Do you want to talk about Denver, or should we even switch over to them?
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not very high on Denver. I'd rather go to that late game tonight at 10:30. I think grabbing some of the exposure to the Dallas guys with the injuries to Porzingis and Seth is crucial. But when it comes to Denver, I don't really have anybody that I'm really in love with. I mean, the 112 over-under is nice. Like, I wouldn't mind stabs at a guy like Will Barton in GPPs. Paul Millsap in a good matchup against, they don't really have too many bigs. So if the minutes are there for him, which there really haven't been lately, I wouldn't mind him either. But yeah, I don't have any interest in these Denver guys, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like it's the same kind of picture as Philly, except I think these guys might even be better than Philly, just because it's going to be competitive. There's that slight blow-up potential here with Philly and Detroit. But with Denver, you don't really get that. Jokic, I mean, outside GPP option, obviously, with there being the pay-up option with Doncic tonight, Jokic is going to be unowned. 6% is what they have him tagged here. And some of these mid-tier guys are not going to be owned at all.
I definitely take I'm showing 5%. Nikola Jokic, so I would definitely take some stabs at him for sure in GPPs. He hasn't been good lately, obviously, but no Porzingis. They don't really have anybody to cover him too well. They'll have Powell on him, or Kleber rather. So, yeah, I would definitely take chances on him in GPPs.
I think with the strategy tonight, I think my strategy, TJ, is I might end up matching on Doncic and then just kind of spreading out as far as I know there's not too many pay up options, but like, your De'Aaron Foxes of the world, your Jokic's, your higher owned, or your Bam Adebayos, your pricier guys, and kind of spread out the percentage that way, because Doncic could break the entire slate, or he might not, which he hasn't been recently. So that might end up being a good strategy. I'm not saying fade Doncic whatsoever. He's obviously in the best spot, but maybe a match or maybe some underweight on Doncic might be some decent leverage. Doncic is obviously a good play. I'm not saying fade him, guys.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't fared too well against Denver this year. I definitely don't hate it. In his 2 games, he's 27 and 52 or 53 DraftKings points. So, but again, both those games were with Porzingis on the court. So.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I guess we can go anywhere now. Do you want to go to the high over under game here?
No, I want to do the. Is Miami updated? I want to do that.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even calculate that. You want to go ahead and start that while I run some numbers?
I haven't calculated.
Oh, you haven't either. Then let's do it together.
We were waiting for Butler, bro.
Yeah, I thought you got to it though. My bad.
No, I was doing Detroit. So Leonard, Alexander, and Butler. I don't even know why I take Kyle Alexander off the court.
Yeah, I don't know why at this point either. Guys, for anybody that is new to the stream, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Guys, we put out a video every single morning. We also break down the slate to help give you guys an edge. Appreciate all the support, guys. This is the boring part of the stream where you guys see us number crunch, so bear with us. We will give you
Who else got traded besides Dion, Justice, Winslow, and James Johnson? I think that's everybody, right? My brain is so fried from adding everybody that's been traded.
The late season struggles of NBA are definitely, they eat at your soul at some point. You're just at some points you just want to give up. Yeah. It's tough.
It's soul eating
you guys
season,
don't have our chat doesn't have to do this every single day.
Season. You heard Matthew. He said it. Soul eating season. I gotta get rid of Butler. You're off your trash. So like I said, it's Crowder, Justice Winslow, and James Johnson.
I'm forgetting Butler. I was looking at Leonard and Alexander, and I was like, which one did I not take off the court?
You should probably take Jimmy Butler off the court.
I should, yeah.
None.
All right, so
they've Hero pegged. I mean, Hero's most likely going to be on.
Winslow's gone. Yeah, see, told you guys. My brain is fried, and it's not the White Claws.
It's definitely the White Claws. I think Matt has a drinking problem.
Winslow and who else? You know this better than
Hero is actually 3,300.
Yeah, but how many minutes is he getting?
I know he's going to be on a minute restriction, but I wonder what it will be, because if it's 20 minutes, then I'll definitely want to have some exposure to him, because he'll probably be virtually unowned.
What other guy am I taking off besides Winslow?
Dion Waiters and James Johnson. They get their.
The difference between me and TJ, and I'll tell you guys this right now, is TJ goes through every single team, like every single player, almost, and calculates the usage. If I know a team's not affected by injuries, I just won't go and calculate them. So that's TJ's OCD kicking in. So that's why I'm not used to all of these injuries, taking them off the court. That's why he's better at it.
I'm a psychopath. And I memorize them.
He's a psychopath.
I don't know anything for my real job, but when it comes to this,
That's what we're getting at. He's a psychopath. Yep.
Yeah. Duncan Robinson, 0.7 fantasy points per minute. Not too productive. Oh, I have to update these minutes, don't I? Because Dragic will definitely play more than 26. And I'm assuming Bam will probably play a little bit more than 34.
Dragic is projected at 28. I think that's conservative.
Really?
Yeah.
I was going to say 30.
Yeah. Me too.
I definitely like Crowder a little bit.
Uh-oh. You're not going to like this.
I'm not going to like what?
None.
He doesn't. Oh, what are his minutes at?
31.
He's going to be good, isn't he? Because he's a 5'4" right now, and I have him at 27. Really?
Yeah. I didn't put in usage.
Oh.
Crowder.
Oh, yeah. If Hero plays 20 minutes, I'm going to have exposure. All right, let's see. Yep. So they have Bam at 35.
Who wins more, you or TJ?
Who what?
Somebody asked who wins more. I don't really know. It would be interesting to actually compare our percentages throughout the year.
We both have our nights.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
Jake
not
Crowder,
a competition, guys.
Huh?
It's not a competition, guys.
It's not a competition. I just win more money. So, I mean, we'll call it.
Jake Crowder's a thing, yeah.
I like Jake Crowder, yeah.
All right, so I have a good idea of the picture now. So let's go ahead and break it down. So it looks like Jake Crowder, 29 minutes, is going to be the play, averaging 1.08 fantasy points per minute.
And that's a 200-minute sample size.
200 minutes.
I mean, that's a pretty healthy sample size with Butler off the court. So that's pretty big. So I definitely.
And the enemy has what's his usage? His usage is down though. I think he just probably gets more shots from that.
Who?
Crowder, showing 16%.
17% usage rate.
Kendrick Nunn at 4,800, 31 minutes, a 6.2 point per dollar value. Goran Dragic, a 5.5. I think the two guys that we're really going to hone in on here is Crowder and Nunn. Dragic being probably a GPP option. He probably won't be as chalky because he's only playing 28 minutes, but I think Nunn, Crowder might even be lower owned. I think Nunn's going to be the chalkier option because Roto actually had Crowder all the way down at like a 4.6 point per dollar value, which is interesting. So if people are looking at that piece of data and they're comparing it, they're looking at it in general, and then we look at it comparing to our models, it's showing a 7 point per dollar, so he should be virtually unowned, or at least close to it. He'll probably be about 10% ownership if I had to guess right now, but Nunn's going to be the chalkier option for sure. Bam Adebayo, definitely a GPP option because his price tag is at 9K and he is in a smash spot. We have him pinned here at 47. I think that's a little conservative. He might be closer to 50 if I had to throw in his matchup. TJ, who are your favorite plays?
So I actually think that Dragic will probably carry the most ownership in terms of cash for these guys. I think it's going to be Dragic and Nunn. I think it should be pretty close. Relatively close between the two. I don't get the Dragic 28 minutes. I think it's probably because Hero's back, so maybe that's eating into it. And I'm thinking that he, in the past, has played 30-ish, 32 when Butler was out. So I want to see what's going on with Tyler Hero and if he's on a minute restriction, and if so, how many minutes he'll projected to play. I feel like they have him at 20. I feel like that's a pretty safe number. If he plays 20 minutes and he's sub 1, I'm definitely going to have some exposure to him because with Butler off the court, he actually gets a 6.4% usage bump, 0.94 fantasy points per minute, and garnishes a 28.7% usage rate. So obviously coming back from an injury, so please don't hold that over my head. But like Tyler Hero at 3.3, if he does play 20 minutes, I definitely like him as a pump play. But yeah, I obviously those percentage ownerships are going to adjust. Bam's going to go up immensely. So will Dragic, so will Nunn, and so will Crowder. Those are definitely the four guys that I'm looking at with Hero being a pump play. It's a really good matchup against Charlotte. We know how bigs fare against Charlotte, so I definitely wouldn't mind going to Bam at 9K, but I think paying up for Luka, and then there's some other spots that I like Fox at 7,800. I think that's the route that I would rather go. But yeah, I want to see how everything shakes up and see what's going on with Hero and his minutes before I kind of make a decision. But Crowder's the one guy that really stands out at 4,500. 1.08 fantasy points per minute, like you said, 17% usage rate with this, which isn't anything, crazy, but that's a pretty low price tag, and the minutes will be there for him, especially with Jimmy out. So I expect Jay Crowder's percentage ownership to go from 0.25 to probably, I'd say, at least 18%, 20%. So
no, and usage, you have to take in consideration. Usage is just when you have the ball and you contribute a lot on the offensive end. Crowder obviously gets rebounds. He contributes in shooting ability. So yeah, great defensively. So that bodes well versus a matchup like Charlotte, because Charlotte obviously struggles against bigs and rebounding in general. So again, Crowder could definitely get overlooked. Just wanted to add that. So I guess usage rate doesn't really matter in this regard. Yeah, so Miami's definitely going to be more chalky now. I think it's going to be Dallas and Miami if I had to guess right now. A combination of the two. And then you got to put your fillers here with Sacramento. You started talking about them. Do you want to go ahead and talk about your favorite plays from Sacramento?
Yeah, so none of them really rate out too well on our sheet, but I definitely like this matchup as a whole. It looks like it's going to be a competitive game against the Pelicans tonight. Sacramento at home. They actually play at a higher pace at home. Since the All-Star break, do I still have that up or no? Nope. Give me 1 second. I had
Sure.
my All-Star break was February 6th, right? Pretty sure.
Was it?
Yeah,
That
I think it
long
was the
ago
6th.
already?
Yeah,
Jeez.
I know, right? Yeah, so since February 6th, I'm pretty sure that was the All-Star break. If somebody in the chat wants to help me out, but I'm pretty sure it was. Sacramento's actually 13th in pace since then. So I definitely like that number. They've been playing at a faster pace, especially since they've gotten Bazemore. The Pelicans actually rank second fastest pace in the NBA. So I definitely expect a high-scoring game between the Pelicans and Sacramento. The Pelicans rank 29th against opposing guards, which is second to last in the NBA. So, I mean, all signs from me point to a guy like De'Aaron Fox that loves to push the pace. He loves to play fast. He's definitely going to be chalky in terms of cash. I definitely like the price tag at 7-8. And then even like Bogdanovich, even though I hate his guts currently, I definitely love him tonight as well at 5,100. I mean, Matt, you know we like to take shooters and high over-under games like this. This is the highest over-under game on the slate. So just edging out that Knicks Atlanta game. So I definitely like Bogdan. More of a GPP play, but I wouldn't hate if he lands in my cash lineup at 5-1. I think that's a really cheap price. But he healed too at 5-4. The minutes really aren't too safe with somebody like him. He's been seeing like 25 or 23 to 25. So I'd rather save 300 and go to Bogdanovich, who should see 30 minutes, especially if the game's competitive. But we've seen Buddy Hield get hot, and if he can get hot in a game like this, I could definitely see him playing 30 minutes. Bielitsa I definitely like as well. Even with Rashawn Holmes coming back, Bielitsa played 30 minutes against Toronto. He was very productive for Sacramento, so I expect him to play 30 minutes again. I expect that trend to continue. They're going to need his size against guys like Derek Favors, Zion Williamson. So Sacramento is definitely a team that I want to look to target, but Fox and Bogdy are my two favorite plays. Like I said, if Hield can get hot, this is a game that this could be a monstrous game for him, especially at home against the Pelicans. Yeah, Bielitsa I definitely like as well. So I mean, I'm very high on Sacramento.
Yeah, very high in Sacramento for this reason. Their ownership outside of Bogdanovich and Fox, and even those two in general, is just very, very low. I love them for tournaments because we obviously know the upside playing, like you said, anybody playing the Pelicans. But Barnes is showing at 8%. Bielitsa is showing at 8%. Hield is showing at 10%. And then you just keep going down the list. We know Bazemore can get hot, 1%. So you look at all these guys and the percentage ownership, and it's only going to go down from this point because obviously with these other the other injuries. I don't really get it. I don't get it because on my models, they're showing very underpriced just because of the over-under here, just in general. So I really, really like these guys for GPPs. I'm going to probably be overexposed to literally every single person on this roster. Obviously not going crazy with it or anything, but these guys definitely have a high ceiling tonight. De'Aaron Fox obviously tops the list, so does Bogdanovich, but Barnes is going to be under the radar 100% at 8% ownership. Got a price increase of $100 just in this over-under. I know his minutes aren't going to be good. He's not going to be playing 38 minutes like he normally does, but 34 is still solid. Obviously, like Barnes has been on the roll. Bielitsa, you can obviously make a case for. So I really like these guys for GPPs. Cash play, I'm going to expect like Fox is going to probably be in there now. Bogdanovich, probably not. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see all the ownerships shake up after this. But yeah, I really do like these Kings for GPPs.
Yeah, guys, thank you. I saw everybody in the chat. It was the All-Star game was the 14th, the 16th, whatever, and I meant the 16th. So when I was talking about,
that's what I was like.
When I was talking about the pace for Sacramento and the Pelicans, it was from the 16th. So Sacramento's 13th since the 16th, and the Pelicans ranked second in the NBA in terms of pace of play. So yeah, thank you.
Let's flip over to the Pelicans because the Pelicans are actually not in a pace up spot. Maybe I'm trying to think of their average points per game, but it's around 117. We'll call it an average spot against Sacramento. So we know that there's somebody else that got added to the injury list here. Let me look just to make sure. It's Walker, Miller, and Redick. So take those guys off the court, and you're really not looking at too much. You're looking at Melly here, 24 minutes, being the best point per dollar value here on Roto. Zion Williamson, I'm not really intrigued just because of these price tags. TJ, is there anybody that you're looking at here from the Pelicans?
The Pelicans, man, I feel like I can never get right. I mean, I definitely have interest in a guy like Brandon Ingram. He's been the most consistent guy since Zion's entered the starting lineup. Averages 1.16 fantasy points per minute. Nothing crazy, but again, the most consistent in terms of fantasy points per minute since Zion's entered the starting lineup. So I definitely like Brandon Ingram. I mean, Drew Holiday coming off that game against Minnesota was just spectacular. They've had three games of rest, so I expect these guys to be ready to go tonight in Sacramento. I think that kind of makes me like Zion a little bit because he's had some rest. Again, 3 days off. I expect him to be just ready to rock. But it's so hard to decide because they're all, Zion 7-8, Lonzo 7-9, Ingram 8, Drew Holiday 8-2. I feel like my eyes go to Ingram at 8. I feel like that would be my favorite play. But it's so tough to say between those guys. Zion right now is showing the highest percentage ownership. So yeah, if I can get Ingram for $200 more and at less ownership, I'll definitely take that. I don't think any of these guys are going to make it into my cash lineup. I have more interest in some of those cheaper Sacramento guys. But if I land on one of them, I guess I wouldn't hate it. And if I do, I would assume it would be Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, I'm probably going to have limited exposure to these guys. I'll just say that. I usually like the Pelicans. I did like it when Brandon Ingram was sitting around 7K, but now it just makes it so much harder to get behind any one of these guys. I mean, they're all around the same value, so again, it's very hard to kind of pick from these guys. So we're starting to get some OKC questions. We haven't really touched base on OKC. There's some undervalued players when you first look at the picture overall. Like Gallinari at 5.9 at first looks very intriguing, but he's just not going to contest with the value that's already here on the slate. Gallinari 5.5 is what they have him tagged here on Roto Grinders. He's going to be fairly chalky. I know there's a lot of underpriced players in general just on OKC, but guys, it isn't much, and you got to keep in mind they're going against OKC. I know Gobert might not be there, and that could be more intriguing, but Shea Alexander here is showing, what was it? I think it's just under fantasy point per minute, 34 minutes, 6.3. Yeah, he's okay. All these guys are okay, but the percentage ownership scares me, and maybe the public is just reacting to these price tags. TJ, what is your thoughts on OKC?
For cash, I don't really have too much interest. If I am playing anybody, it's probably going to be SGA. And I mean, that Gallinari price tag at 5.9 looks very appealing. But yeah, I think I have interest in other games in relativity to cash. If I were to take anybody from this game, it would be Gallinari or SGA. SGA is actually a 5.4 on our sheet, 1.03 fantasy point per minute. And like you said, did I just say SGA?
Yes.
Gallinari, sorry,
yeah.
1.03 fantasy point per minute. SGA is actually a 0.99 fantasy point per minute. So they both rate out pretty decent on our sheet. I think those would be the two guys that I'm going to. If Gobert's out, I think that gives me a little bit more interest in somebody like Steven Adams at 5.6, going up against Bradley. So also, if Gobert's out, that means Bradley's a lock. So
yeah.
We're going to have to wait and see what's going on with Utah, but I think those would be my two plays currently. But if Tony Bradley starts, I think he's obviously a fantastic play if Gobert's out. In terms of cash, he'll probably be one of the chalkier guys on the slate.
Yeah, the percentage ownership always just doesn't make sense to me on this team. I get, all these players are good for their value, but you can never pick, I just keep saying, I sound like a broken record. You can't really pick one player from this team that's going to stand out. Gallinari, Alexander, and Schroeder are really close in fantasy point per minute production. It's kind of hard to decide which one you're going to go with. And then Chris Paul, obviously slightly better, but also slightly higher priced. So again, it's very hard to pick from these guys. Yeah, I think we pretty much covered the entire slate, TJ, besides the Knicks. I guess we can go there. There's actually some interest here for me. Randall, obviously at 7.8. This is a pace-up spot for the Knicks, so plug and play the cheaper guys and the guys that are going to be shooting a lot. Elfrid Payton's going to be heavily involved. Randall's going to be heavily involved. RJ Barrett is showing underpriced. Outside of those guys, not too much interest. I think Mitchell Robinson, is he not questionable anymore?
No, Mitch is good to go.
Okay, so I mean, not too much to be said about these guys. I think Randall is cash viable at this point. I love Randall. You guys know that. Alfred Payton is pretty underpriced here at 6.5. But again, with all of this additional value opening up in Miami, I'm going to have to keep refreshing my page for ownership. I don't really see too much interest in these guys. Outside, I think GBP for sure, but for cash, what are your thoughts on the Knicks?
I wouldn't hate getting 7-8 Julius Randle tonight against the Atlanta Hawks. Hawks ranked 24th in efficiency against centers and 27th in rebounds allowed per game. So I definitely have interest in a guy like Julius Randle. He's actually showing pretty high right now. Again, like Charlotte, Atlanta's another team we like to target in terms of bigs. They've been starting Dwayne Dedmon a little bit, so I'm not as – I still love Julius Randle. And definitely Mitchell Robinson off the bench is somebody that I want to have overexposure to in terms of GPPs. Where was my stat on Mitchell Robinson? I got to find it on my sheet. The same applies to him where the Hawks are 24th in efficiency against centers, 27th rebounds. Mitchell Robinson actually in 48 minutes averages 4.1 blocks and 1.8 steals per game. And Atlanta is the second most, gives up the second most blocks and steals in the NBA in both those categories combined. So I definitely like Mitchell Robinson in terms of like those pump plays or those punt categories, like blocks and steals tonight in a good matchup against Atlanta. So he's definitely a GPP play for me tonight at 5.7. But yeah, Julius Randle and Alfred Payton, I wouldn't hate for cash. I think I'd rather go with Randle, but both those guys, really good matchups. It's definitely a pace-up spot for the Knicks. They're at a 113 team total over-under. That's something you don't see every day. RJ Barrett, too. I don't hate him. So those top four guys, Randle, Payton, Mitch, and Barrett, I definitely like. I think Randle is definitely cash viable as well.
Yeah, and a lot more people than expected are going to be off of Randall based on what he did last night. I don't know if you're paying attention, TJ, but he was in a great spot. 7.3, I think, is what he was, and he just dropped a dud. Just did nothing.
Who is this?
Randall. So
I really wasn't paying attention last night, to be honest.
Yeah, so the ownership on him is going to probably be lower than it should, just in GPPs. Because again, guys, don't look at like recent games.
Terry Rozier ruled out
for Charlotte.
Wasn't he probable?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Illness. So, coronavirus strikes again. All right, here we go.
What's Graham?
What's Graham?
7K.
Yeah, 7K. So it's going to be hard to kind of see. I guess we're going to have to wait till these guys are taking out the player pool, see what minutes. But what I'll do right now is actually observe the ownership because it just got updated. So that's interesting. Kendrick Nunn, like we said. Dragic, you were right about Dragic. Good for you. Being one of the highest owned other than Doncic. Randall's next. Kleber, De'Aaron Fox. Where is Crowder? So let's look. Crowder is at 12%. Okay, so around 10%. Adebayo is around 9%.
What is Crowder? 12.
12, yeah. So he's not chalky at all. So definitely one of my favorite GPP options. So let me just crunch numbers. I know we're still we're gonna have to crunch numbers for Charlotte, but I always say Chicago with Charlotte for Charlotte. So let me go ahead and just crunch the numbers before then and see what the picture looks like here, TJ. You guys have to watch me sit through computing. And yes, my girlfriend just got home, so the dogs are going nuts. I apologize. I just accidentally deleted everything. I hit the delete button.
Oh, Matt. Devontae Graham, 1.15 fantasy points per minute.
Okay, so he's going to be decent, I think.
2.4% usage bump.
Okay.
With all those guys up the court.
Not bad.
Yeah, he'll definitely get us 1.024, and he's a 5.9 on her sheet. 28% usage rate. I definitely don't hate him. Where are those backup minutes? Where are those minutes going to go now, though? They don't have Monk.
Bridges, and hold on, let me look at the roster.
I would assume. Cody Martin's already playing 28.
609. Yes, guys, we'll get to your questions. If you are new to the stream, ask your questions, guys. We get to a certain point in our segment after we crunch all of our numbers. We give you our favorite cash plays and GPP options. So feel free to spam the chat with your questions. We will get to them, guys. Also, we will get off stream around 6:30 or 625-ish, and then we'll come back to answer any last-minute questions. So, again, we're still awaiting that Dorian Finney-Smith news. So if he is ruled out, guys, it's going to change the slate even more. So bear with us.
So I just feel like they're going to have to throw some more minutes at, like, Cody and Caleb Martin, and then I guess even Jalen McDaniels. I don't know. They don't really have any guards with Monk and Rozier out. So could Graham play 38 minutes? I mean,
yeah, we're still awaiting that. So
this is just a brutal matchup for them. No Jimmy is obviously something that's nice.
Yeah, no, it doesn't help. I mean, I'm probably still going to be higher on these Dallas and Miami guys.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to figure out if I'm going to need, because like if Graham plays 38 minutes, if this game is competitive and stays close, like he rates out very well.
Yeah, Caleb Martin might get minutes. I think that's a thing.
Cody and Caleb just will get a bump. Cody Martin will probably play like 30-ish, and then Caleb and Jalen McDaniels will probably. Where's Bridges?
While you guys are waiting for TJ to calculate some numbers there, and while we're waiting for the minutes to update, I'll give you kind of a rough overview of what we have so far, of course, without Charlotte. So Finney-Smith is still one of my favorite plays for GPPs in specific because they're showing at 13% ownership right now. Finney-Smith is, sorry. So that is very, very low. I do like Finney-Smith as a GPP option. I also like Brandon Knight. However, at 4%, I'm definitely not going to have 57% exposure to him. Okay, that's going to be very low. Okay, so again, he's showing at 5%. I do like Brandon Knight. He's going to get overlooked, especially with all this additional value on the slate. And we already talked about Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder, one of my favorite GPP options right now. Christian Wood's also going to get overlooked. And I think that, and Bam Adebayo. Some of my favorite GPP options just to talk it over with you guys on the slate so far. TJ will give us his favorite cash plays as soon as he has everything figured out.
Which might not be tonight. I might have to do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Not funny?
Yeah, that was funny. So I think they updated. So what was... Yeah, they did because Caleb Martin's now at 28. So yeah.
Caleb Martin's at 28?
Yes. He gets a bump whenever he's out. Rozier or Graham.
Well, yeah. I mean, if they don't have anybody else. What do they have Graham pegged at? Like 36 now, probably?
Yeah, I think it was. Yep.
What's Bridges?
Bridges is 32.
Yeah. PJ?
PJ's at 32.
Yeah. Zeller?
Zeller's at 23.
Cody Martin?
Cody Martin's at 32.
Okay. Biz, still 20, obviously. Caleb Martin, 28. Jalen?
22. Guys, this is what I'm talking about. He does every single player. I won't even look at Jalen McDaniels because I know he's not going to contest anybody. That's just me. But that's why we're different. So it's good to have different opinions.
We're not so different, you and I. Oh, Dwayne Bacon, welcome to... Oh boy, welcome to the pool, Mr. Bacon. How are you?
So you'll calculate probably Bacon as well.
Seen you in a while. Calculating Bacon real quick.
This is what I'm talking about.
Mr. Bacon, what's going on?
Monk, Simmons, and Rozier is now out. Rozier, Monk, Simmons, right in a row. Look at that. They just lined up.
Dwayne Bacon, guess what? You're trash. If anybody wants 9 points from Dwayne Bacon in 15 minutes in terms of DraftKings points, go nuts.
No, guys, I see a comment. TJ is actually hilarious. Huge reason why I work with him. He's absolutely hilarious.
Thank you, Matt.
That's the only compliment he'll ever get.
It's the only compliment I ever strive to get, so.
41. So, yeah, it looks like Graham's a 5.9. Of course, you're probably putting usage in there, so he's probably 6.1 on your sheet.
605, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I definitely like Graham. And he'll probably shoot up to one of the chalkier plays in the slate now.
He will shoot up, yep.
No, Monk's doing that.
I was waiting for it. Seller. That was set up perfectly.
I know, thank you. It was a layup.
PG-13. We're going to keep the chat PG-13, guys. Also, you'll notice some mods in our chat, guys. Say hi to the mods. Thank you so much for volunteering to do that. Of course, we don't want anybody coming in here and spamming the chat with, you guys know, based on history, what we're talking about. So, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for keeping the chat clean. Really appreciate all your support.
Yeah, you guys are the best.
Most of you.
All right, so what are we waiting on? We're waiting on,
Finney
obviously,
Smith.
DFS.
That's
which
huge.
is huge. We're still waiting on Bruce Brown, which could be big. I mean, because that would mean Brandon Knight would probably start. We have Atlanta's starting lineups. That's good. The Knicks only have Wooten out, so that's good. We know Philly's just Simmons out. That's good. We know Butler's out for Miami. No injuries for Denver except Bobo. Dallas, yep, we're still pending Dorian. Utah, we're still pending Gobert because Gobert's huge. Because if Gobert's out, that means Tony Bradley starts, and that's 3.2, and that gives you so much flexibility. Because if you're spending down for Gobert and you're spending down for, like, let's say Thon McCour, if he is in the starting lineup, like, that's 3-2 and 3-1. I think both of them only have center eligibility. McCour might actually have forward eligibility. Yeah, he does. All right, so that's good. So that gives you a little bit more flexibility, but that gives you a lot of ability to spend up. So, yeah, I think the Dorian Finney-Smith news is huge. I think currently right now for cash, I mean, I think Kleber's a lock. I really like De'Aaron Fox. I really like Luka.
Kendrick Nunn.
I'd rather
He's
go
showing way
Dragic.
too high.
Yeah, I'd rather go Dragic. But I understand rostering Kendrick Nunn. I think that now Devontae Graham's ownership will shoot up, so I definitely like Devontae Graham. I definitely like Bogdy at 5-1. I really like Christian Wood at 8,100, even with Embiid in. I wish Embiid was out because I would have loved to roster him even more. I definitely like Randall at 78. I mean, Buddy Hield's a good play. Like, at 54, but, like, just the minutes, man, they just haven't been there for him. So, like, I'd rather go with Bogdanovich and save the 300. But, like, if you roster Buddy Hield as the last spot in cash, like, I definitely don't hate it.
Yeah, as TJ just said, always go with minutes, guys. If you're deciding between two players.
But, like, I mean, I keep saying like I said. Like I said.
With that being said,
this could be a game that Buddy Hield gets hot and plays 28, 30 minutes and hits 7 threes. And I feel like this is the type of matchup in which he can do it. But more of a GPP play for me now. I think with Jimmy being rolled out, I'd rather find an extra $100 and get Dragic, or save and go to Kendrick Nunn. Or if you don't have Bogdy, I'd rather go to Bogdy. So I think my locks currently are going to be Kleber. I want to see if McCour is starting. I think that's pretty big because if he starts, I definitely like him. We need to see what's going on with Dorian Finney-Smith. That's big too. So Kleber, Luka. We keep getting news for Thursday. I don't care about Thursday.
Kleber, Celtics.
What?
You don't care about the Celtics on Thursday?
No. Not right now. They almost blew another game last night. Kleber, Fox, Luka,
Spurs did too.
And I think Dragic would be my 4 right now. But again, I think Thon McCour, if he starts, I think he's definitely viable for cash as well. So I just want to make sure he's starting. Sorry, that took me like 12 minutes to actually get all my...
No, and for good reason, because there's a lot of value on this slate, guys. I think
it's not so much the value, it's more of, like, because if Dorian Finney-Smith's in, like, I really like him at his price tag. But, like, if he's out, like, where do they go to? You know, like, who's going to start at power forward? Or are they going to move Kleber to power forward and start, like, Willie Cauley-Stein, even though he's coming back from an injury? Like,
yeah.
Like, will Justin Jackson start if he's out? Would they start Boban? I mean,
and that's a huge edge. I hope that they hold this injury news off, and you know, TJ, you hate that, but I think that this is going to be a huge edge in GPPs. Like, I'm going to have a lot of exposure to Finney-Smith, and if he's ruled out, I'm just going to be pivoting to all Mavs. Like, that's all I'm going to do. Oops, I just hit my mic. So the Mavs, I'll say this: Mavs, Heat, And I'll throw in Charlotte for some of my favorite GPP options, just teams in general. Like if you pick guys from those teams, a lot of them have upside. Obviously, tons of value just throughout the teams in general. I throw Brandon Knight into the mix. I only am speeding up because it's almost 6:20, TJ, and we haven't gotten any questions. So I think we
let's
should
start banging some of those out.
Yeah, we should start getting the questions, guys. Now go ahead. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe. Please show that support by watching all of our videos and showing up to the streams, guys. We help give you an edge for completely free. So again, we do this for completely free for you guys. We hop on for an hour and a half just to help you guys. Really appreciate it. Let's go ahead and start. Do you want to start from the top or start from the bottom, or we'll just start reading them?
Yeah, let's there's a lot of...
Why is Finney Smith news important? Because if Finney Smith is out, he still plays 32 minutes right now, and that's a huge amount of minutes, obviously going to be distributed throughout more Dallas players and create some more value for that team.
Butler out, yeah. Luka's a savage. Bogdanovich or Barnes? I'd go Bogdanovich.
Barnes for GPP.
Matt's really high on Barnes for GPP. I like Bogdanovich just
because of the difference in ownership. I think Bogdanovich is a better player.
Yeah.
Finney or Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Finney or Hardaway, if you're talking about value, Finney, but I don't know. Their price tags are completely different. So Hardaway straight up.
Somebody asked, is Embiid on your radar now? Most likely not, especially if he's on a minute restriction.
Yeah, I was just about to answer a question. What about Embiid? The thing with Embiid is he's come back from injury, 10.5. So like it's just a lot of question marks. So no.
What tool is that you're using? That's Roto that Matt has on the screen. Who wins more, me or Matt? We already said I win more.
I probably win more.
Dragic will break the slate. I like that. Called Bobby Portis last night. Hats off. I don't even know what Bobby Portis did last night. I was too busy crying about volleyball. The bank wins the most. Jason, you're totally right. The bank wins the most.
Casinos win the most. Best play on the slate. So as far as ownership and like upside in general, I'm gonna say Finney Smith as of right now, and
I'm saying Cleveland.
Yeah, him, and I'll say Kendrick Nunn.
Whoa!
No, I did that last one on purpose.
Right?
I did that one last on purpose.
I think even if Dorian's in, I think Kleber's the best value. If Thaumacore starts at 3,100, I definitely don't hate him. If Gobert's out and Tony Bradley starts, I think that's great value at 3,200. Yeah, I mean that's
Graham question mark. Yeah, not a bad play. 36 minutes. Obviously, a guy playing the entire game, but
Dorian Finney-Smith is out.
He's out. Okay, so we need to kind of calculate that now. So we're gonna drop all your questions. Sorry, guys, we're gonna ignore you for just a second. Dang it.
So who starts? Would they start Boban and start?
Ooh, Boban's gonna be interesting.
Would they start Kleber at the 4 and Boban at the 5? Will they keep Kleber at the 5 and start? Because like Willie Cauley-Stein's coming back from injury, or else they would easily start Willie Cauley-Stein at center.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting.
He only missed a game. I mean, maybe Willie
Smith out. Oh, you just said Smith. Okay, you confused me. Okay, Smith is a common last name.
Here's what I think. Before anything even happens, I feel like they start Willie Cauley-Stein at the 5.
Yeah,
Stein.
I think so.
I think I said Stein. Willie Cauley-Stein. I feel like they start him at the 5 and maybe put Kleber at the 4. So if Willie Cauley-Stein starts and is at 3K and sees a bump, I mean, he was out on last night due to personal reasons. His minutes have obviously been down. So, I mean, they don't have any other bigs now. It's just Kleber. It's Willie Cauley-Stein, and it's Boban.
Yeah. I don't think Boban's going to start, but I think he's going to get a nice little run here. I think he's going to be fairly chalky too.
Yeah, I agree, but I'd be interested to see if they start Willie at the 5 and then Kleber at the 4 and then go from there.
And then Justin Jackson's right there too.
I mean, they need the size against Denver, against guys like Jokic, Millsap, big bodies like that down low.
Yeah. Thumbnail curse continues. You are exactly right. I didn't even think about that.
I said that earlier.
Oh my gosh. Finney Smith. No, but that's I didn't make the connection. Guys, I think I'm on like a 3-day streak now.
Faded, yeah. If Gobert's out, then Tony Bradley will be huge value at 3-2.
Yo. I just need to not make any more thumbnails.
Cheap option, Tyler Hero. Yeah, if Tyler Hero is on the minute restriction, I want to see how many minutes. There hasn't been a report on how many minutes he's going to play. I'm assuming he's on the minute restriction. So, okay, I need to focus.
Finney Smith is still playing 33 minutes in Roto Grinders pool, so that's not right.
I feel like Justin Jackson's going to get a pretty big uptick in minutes too. He could be a huge beneficiary. So we got Powell, we got Brunson. We have Brunson. We have
Finney Smith is still in the pool.
Powell. Yeah, he's not going to go anywhere for a little bit. Seth Curry, and then
put the coronavirus in the next thumbnail.
That's good. See,
That's
guys,
a good
that's
idea.
smart.
Oh man,
these sample sizes are not great.
that's actually really funny. Did you hear that they are going to be playing the tournament NCAA inside in a private?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
So the sample size with all 5 of these guys off the court is very minimal. I think I'm going to take Brunson and keep him on because I'm not really too fixated on the guards. I'm more focused on the bigs.
I'll answer questions while we kind of wait on this, guys. Who on Detroit do you like? I like McCord, Wood, and Knight. I like Knight for GPPs. I like Wood for GPPs. I think McCord is going to be less chalky now, but he's still going to be more on the chalky side.
Have we? Oh, you know what? You know who I forgot?
Who?
I forgot they had Kid Gilchrist. He wasn't in the pool, and he was probable
For
Dallas. So
Yeah.
Justin Jackson, 28 minutes. Yeah, they just gave more forward minutes to Kid Gilchrist, 14.
Okay.
Bobans didn't move. Justin Jackson, 23. Courtney Lee, 28. Kleber, 34.
Well, now
so it
Courtney
just
Lee's at 28, so that's interesting. That he wasn't at 28. Oh, wow. So that really didn't shake up too much. Let's see how the usage shakes up.
I mean, the sample size isn't. It's not big enough to actually do anything.
Okay. So then
I
let's
just want to
take off.
their stock.
Let's take off Curry. Yeah, I guess it comes down who's starting. Curry, Brunson.
They'll probably start Justin Jackson. I would look at Justin Jackson at 3-2 and see. I want to see what he. So if you take off Curry, Powell, Porzingis, and DFS, Justin Jackson's a 0.86 fantasy point per minute, 19% usage rate, 2.8% usage bump too, and he's 3,200, right? So Justin Jackson at 3,200, 23 minutes, he gets a 1.208, 0.86 fantasy point per minute. Okay, so I need to see if he's starting because he rates out pretty well.
Justin Jackson does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6'4". Luka has a 40% usage rate. Guys, start Luka probably.
Yeah, he should probably be a thing.
Boban, 1.21 fantasy points per minute. That is why he is 22% in GPPs. I mean, especially now, man. He could see more than 14 minutes. He could see 16 minutes. And for somebody like that, that's like 6 more points.
Delon Wright. What's Courtney Lee at? Do you have his fantasy points in front of you?
Courtney Lee, the sample size, it's only 70 minutes, 0.86.
All
And
right,
he's 3,500?
Yeah, I'm going to take off the guards then. So it's Seth.
Well, if anything, keep the guards off.
I mean off. That's what I meant. Brunson.
And take off Dorian Finney-Smith. Keep on Porzingis and Powell if you're going to do it like that, I would say.
Yeah, but you got to take off Porzingis, don't you? You would think.
Not necessarily. Yeah, I guess. You can just... So you're going to just keep... So you're going to keep Powell on?
Yeah.
That's it? Okay.
Probably.
I
think that makes sense.
Well, the sample size right here that I have isn't too bad. I mean, he's a point... So Courtney Lee is at 3,500. He's pegged at 28 minutes now? Yeah, his ownership will shoot up too. So this slate's already just an absolute whirlwind, and we're still pending Gobert, which is like if he's out, and that means Bradley's a great play at 3-2. Tony Bradley.
Yeah, so Doncic goes way up. If you're not taking off Powell, Doncic is even higher, 42% usage, just FYI.
Yeah, I mean, Luka's going to be in my cash lineup, so I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, Courtney Courtney Lee's fantasy points per minute actually went down, so that's fun. And so did the minute sample size. So I'm not gonna. Who else should I take off? I'm just gonna take off Finney Smith. I think.
SGA or Hardaway Jr. That's tough now with these injuries. I like them both. I really liked SGA, but now with all these guys being out for Dallas, I'd probably go Hardaway. Caleb Martin thoughts. I don't hate him, but I think there's better. I mean, Charlotte's over under is 97. Oh, where was I getting 20? 97.5. So Caleb Martin at 4K. He's not that bad, but I wouldn't go with him. I'd rather pay up 400 and get Cody Martin instead of Caleb.
Cody is a significantly better player. Well, yeah, not significantly. They both kind of stink.
Don't hate it. Luka and Trey in the same GPP lineup. Definitely don't hate it. Have you guys crunched Charlotte? Yeah, we did Charlotte. I like Graham. I think Graham's a good play. That'd be the guy that I would want to go to at 7K. All right.
It is 6:30, and I have to update my Patreon sheet now, so I'm going to go do that. We will be back in about 15 minutes. We also have to make our cash lineup, and I have to do my own lineup. So, guys, I will be back. Okay? Definitely a huge edge. So, TJ, anything to say before you get off real quick?
Hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen, because I can tell you right now that as soon as we get off, I bet you Gobert gets rolled out. Yeah. That's going to be my prediction.
Yep, but this is why we do it, guys. Appreciate all the support. We will see you in about 15 minutes. How inspirational. What am I listening to?
We gotta get some JBs on the stream.
I feel like I'm in Disney World right now.
The slate is a mess. Yes, this slate is a mess. But have no fear, we're here.
Yes, we are waiting for Tony Bradley's minutes to get updated. Should expect it to be mid-20s.
Yeah, I think for 24, I'm going to tell you right now, I now like him over McCoy. So I just took McCoy out of my lineup and I put in Bradley. So for those of you who are members, I will be posting the lineup right now. Hopefully I didn't miss anything and we will get no more injury news, because if we do, then I will be sad.
Yeah. I think they just got updated. Bradley, 22. So still a great play.
Really? That's it? 22?
Yeah. Now, the good thing with Bradley, guys, is that his ownership's going to be low because it's so close to lock, and generally with players that get ruled out that close to lock, they're a little lower than they should be. I'm not saying he's not going to be chalky. I'm saying that the ownership's going to probably be lower than it should.
What's his usage? 15%. I thought he was going to be pegged out a little bit more than 22. Forgot the 8.
Also interesting, Donovan Mitchell also gets a nice little boost, which is pretty cool. I'm going to go through all the values here, guys. Again, we are doing this on stream, so you guys are seeing it. We will get to your questions if we can, guys. Again, this takes priority. I'm assuming a majority of your questions are going to be about this anyway, so Bogdanovich looks pretty well, too.
You know, Matt, you know how I said you know how I said spending up? And
are you speaking English?
No, not yet. Okay. I kind of have an idea that I really might like, that I might run with.
Okay.
And I think it works.
Ed Davis just got added to the player pool, but he's only playing 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I might be a genius. Nunn, Robinson, Solomon Hill starting. I might be a genius.
I don't even know who Solomon Hill starts for. I don't even know who he plays for. I'm going to be completely honest.
Plays for the Heat. Bruce Brown's out.
Bruce Brown's out. Okay.
So I'm not making a lineup. Customers, good luck. No, I might be a genius. I think I'm a genius. I'm a genius. I think I just concocted the greatest lineup ever to be lineupped. As long as McCoy is starting, guys.
Can we clip that?
Lineup, I will post it in a second. I just want to make sure that Thom McCoy is starting. So
yeah, Tony Bradley's showing up 55% of my lineup, so he is a very, very good play still.
Okay, so McCoy is starting. They're starting Brandon Knight. I like Brandon Knight as a GPP play now, especially with I don't want to roster guys from Detroit, but I'm going to. I'm going to take McCoy. So my core right now for cash is going to be it's Bradley, it's McCoy, it's Luka, and it's Maxi Kleber. And then Kendrick Nunn is somebody I like as well. Matt, I think I just made the greatest lineup. So I think my lineup's going to get torched now because I like it so much. I actually have 2 spend-up studs now that I was able to go out and get. So this night could be great. I kind of just want to tell the stream the lineup. Should I? Stream, you guys want to hear the cash lineup for tonight?
Whew. I almost had a mini heart attack. DraftKings gave me an error for uploading all my lineups. Okay.
So you didn't listen to anything I said, correct?
You were talking about how you had the greatest lineup ever. That's all I got, and you said you wanted to give the cash lineup to the stream.
I kind of do because I think it's great.
I think you should give a core.
I did just give a core.
Oh, see, I wasn't listening then.
I know. I'm uploading the lineup right now. I really like it, man. Choose category.
So
I'm not looking at my screen also. So
Bruce Brown's not playing, so
Hornets will start Graham, Cody Martin, Bridges, Washington, Zeller.
I think that's expected, right?
Yes. Oh, I'm almost ready to look at my screen, guys. I'm sorry. I know Matt can't multitask, so that kind of means I have to be the multitasker.
No, I'm just dealing with a lot of different lineups. That's all.
Please share, TJ. I'll give you guys the first 5 in my lineup, okay? And I gave you other plays that I like, so you should be able to figure out the rest. Trae Young, Kendrick Nunn, Bogdanovich, Thon McCour, and Tony Bradley.
Now you're going to get a bunch of questions about fillers.
I basically gave them. I gave locks, which you could use those two. And then you got one more guy to figure out.
I
on
just
your
like
own.
this slate now. You guys should be in love with the slate right now. We're getting more viewers because people are confused. So to kind of reiterate, Tony Bradley's a great play now. That's pretty much all we have to say now. I think Utah becomes very intriguing because their ownership's not going to be as high because it's such a late break in injury news. Oh wow, Christian Wood looks good.
Christian Wood is very good value. Yeah, I mean, I just don't like that. If Embiid was out, I would have liked him a little bit more. Sacramento Bogdanovich, sorry. Why none out of the other players? Jimmy's out, starting. And he's going to carry a decent amount of ownership. And at 4.8, he's definitely very cheap. So I think none is definitely viable in terms of cash. The only guy that I'm really scared about not having in cash, which I did have until I flipped it, was Julius Randle. I'd really like Julius Randle's matchup against Atlanta. I think Cody Martin's kind of cash viable now at 4,400. I mean, he's going to see a ton of minutes for them. For me, for like GPPs, if you're doing it, I'd rather go to Crowder at 4 or 5. But I think both of them are pretty good plays in terms of cash. I think the bulk of the ownership tonight will be on like Luka, Kendrick Nunn, Kleber, McCour, even Dragic will carry ownership. Now Cody Martin, Devontae Graham, De'Aaron Fox. So I think that's kind of where the ownership is going to be.
Galloway's playing 30 minutes now.
Galloway's playing 30 minutes. Okay, and Galloway's like a 0.79 fantasy points per minute. So
7.3, yep.
Thoughts on RJ and Schroeder for GPPs? Yeah, I like RJ Barrett. It's a good matchup for them. Tony Bradley plays for Utah. I dislike this slate now. This is a tough slate now. This is where we get the advantage and others don't because they panic and don't really know what to do. So keep firing off questions, guys. My stuff's good. I know Matt's still kind of cranking out. I didn't run too many. I actually didn't run any GPPs. I am in a $250 GPP though, but I like my lineup so much that I'm gonna throw it in there, and I'm confident in it.
You guys,
Trae Young, Bogdy, Tony Bradley, and Bradley at center, McCour at power forward. Because McCour is starting at center, so that's I like him. I don't like their over under. I don't like that matchup against Philly, but at 3,100 and he's projected 23 minutes, like. Yeah, I mean, don't be surprised if McCour gets you only 15 points, but, I mean, he'll probably be 60% owned in cash, so it's not somebody that will burn you.
Yeah, I'm still panicking, so just bear with me.
Why doesn't DK have Rozier? I don't know, but Rozier is out, so just know that. Rozier is out. Shoot, Matt, maybe in that tournament I go Crowder over Nunn. I don't think I have the opponents to do it.
So let me give you a final update real quick.
Mike, your mic. Detroit. Thon McCour for Detroit. Hero tonight. GPP, yeah. If he plays 20 minutes.
Can you hear me now?
I didn't have a chance to see if he's on a minute restriction, assuming he is. But if he's playing 20 minutes, like I like him as a GPP.
All right, I get that you guys hate. I keep getting hate about McCour. Guys, McCour has to be on the court tonight because he is the only good center, or he's the only center for that team. I'm heavy on Detroit now because Detroit has these very underpriced guys. With Bruce Brown out, the ball has to go somewhere. Langston Galloway showing very bottom of the barrel price. Like, I love him for GPPs. He's showing at 2% right now. I'm trying to get this sent for you guys. Christian Wood gets a heavy boost. I like him for GPPs because there's so many pay up options. Christian Wood might get overlooked because of that low over under. Tony Bradley's a thing. Obviously, should be a staple in the majority of your lineups. Bam Adebayo is still there, going to get completely overlooked because of his price tag. And I think those are my favorite GPP options right now. Obviously, Miami's still there. But guys, there's 5 minutes left, and I'm just now updating all my lineups. So that just goes to show you how much you have to pay attention to detail to win an NBA DFS. Just FYI.
Yeah, no, Chadwick, you could easily say that Thon could get 2,003 minutes, and like I wouldn't be surprised if he does. But if he stays in the court and plays 8 minutes in the first quarter, you could hit value for us. So I would understand if you don't want to roster him. You could easily just go Bradley over him, and you don't need McCoy. Trey or Luka for GPPs? Luka probably, but I think they're both in really good spots. Rashawn Holmes, Sack Love? No, I'd rather go with Bielisa. Thank you, Juan. Thanks for popping in, man. Good luck, Encore. Can I get an encore? I said it like Encore. Solomon Hill. I don't know. Like, what are Solomon Hill's minutes? No, I don't like him, even though he's starting. Like, I'm actually surprised he's starting. I don't know why they wouldn't run like Derek Jones at the 3 and then maybe like Olynyk at the 4 and Bam at the 5. Or, I mean, I get Olynyk is just Olynyk can play the 4. So no, I don't like Solomon Hill. He's only pegged at 18 minutes. I wouldn't mind like a flyer for GPPs, but nothing crazy. SGA or Barrett for GPPs.
I actually love.
It's definitely FanDuel. I'd say SGA. What?
I love Langston Galloway for the amount of minutes he's getting right now. For GPPs. Okay,
2%. Matt's favorite team in the world is Detroit. So the fact that Detroit is here with all these injuries, Matt is just in heaven right now.
Yeah, I mean, for good reason. I mean, look at the rotation. It's the same thing as Cleveland. Just
you overweight on Christian Wood?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I
just put my Patreon page up. Oops.
Do you like Dragic? Yes, definitely. I'm just gonna go with none. I like Dragic more than none, but none filled out my lineup and fit a lot better. So I'm gonna go with none over Dragic tonight in terms of cash, but I definitely like Dragic too.
Yeah. After all that's kind of settled, McRae's still a thing too. Like McRae at 28 minutes could easily get a nice little run there. Obviously can ball out 0.96 fantasy points per minute. So one of the better guards on Detroit. Obviously another JPP option if you guys want to consider. Brandon Knight is still there. Brandon Knight and McRae. I mean, take a stab at either one of those guys.
This is stressful. I'm glad how much do you like Graham? Graham rates out really well on our sheet, so I definitely have interest in him at 7K. I mean, without Monk and without Rozier, he's going to do majority of the ball handling. So
slightly overweight on Graham. I like him.
Yeah. He gets a 2.4% usage bump, 1.15 fantasy points per minute, 28% usage rate. So he's definitely productive with those two guys off the court. So
for sure.
Tough matchup against Miami, but no Jimmy Butler always helps.
All right, guys. 1 minute left to enter contest. You want me to give you some good contests?
Guys? Oh, you know what? I'm going to do that too. I forgot. Thank you.
43 seconds. You got it.
I don't really love Duncan Robinson. I know he's been playing well. He could definitely have another strong shooting night, but I really wish that $400 qualifier was. I don't know why they didn't do it. They didn't have it tonight. You guys love Duncan, don't you? He's been shooting lights out, so I mean, he could.
I get it, but that price tag, man.
Yeah, I'd rather go get. Yeah, I like Brandon Ingram. He'd probably be my favorite Pelican. There's no good contest.
No, I got all the like mini 10-cent ones and.
Oh, I didn't get in it.
There was a 30. It was a $30 one. For 57 out of 69 people only got into it. No, okay, that's fine.
No, it was the the one ticket.
Yeah.
No, there was one below it for $18. It was 26 to 36. All right, now we're gonna play our favorite Ball or Zion. Ugh.
Thon McCour out.
Ingram.
Late scratch.
I would.
I'm kidding.
Zion or Randall? Randall.
All right, guest ownership. Can you even guess the ownership on this? I have no idea if you can even play that. This is gonna be crazy.
Henry, I think I'd rather go Crowder and Bam. I really like Randall against Atlanta, but Crowder rates out very well on our sheet. So the Bam price tag's kind of meh. But no Jimmy, man. He's a big triple-double guy, especially with Jimmy off the court.
I'm overweight on
Bam. All
Bam.
right. Time to play our game. Guess that ownership.
I'm going to get nowhere close to any of these. I'm just going to let you know right off the bat.
All right, so we always start with $25 single entry, okay?
Okay.
Always do that. $25 single entry. The only guy I rostered from that game is Thon McCour. What do you think McCour's ownership is? There's
double up, right?
The $25 double up out of 1.1 thousand players.
I'm going
to say Thon McCour is at 45%. No, I'm going to say 55%.
I say 65.
Okay. Ha, 79.
I knew it was going to be high, but I know it was going to be that high.
I feel like I didn't think it was going to be that. I feel like a lot of people are going to take Well,
that means Tony Bradley's amazing then.
Okay, so in my $250 GPP, what do you think he is? I can't believe I did this. I can't believe you talked me into this.
Wood's 9% in GPPs. Hold on, I just saw a chat. That's amazing. Okay, go ahead.
Who?
Wood.
Oh, wow. That's great. Yeah. What do you think McCour is in this, the GPP, the big one? I'm going to say 40.
You said McCour?
Yeah.
Well, you'd be agreeing with Roto. I'll say
he's 40 on Roto.
Yeah,
I don't have
38. Okay.
I'm gonna say 42 then.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean 45, just because I want to be different.
40.09.
Yeah. See, I mean Roto's pretty accurate, guys. I mean, for tournaments, they're pretty accurate.
Yeah, Matt. So I know you didn't see the cash lineup, but I squeezed in Trae Young and Luka.
No, I get to play this game with you now. What's in the $4 big tournament that I always play? Christian Wood's not 9% in that one, guys. Come on, messing with my emotions. He's 16.
Probably like 18.
Yeah, I just ruined it for you. Okay,
what was he?
16.
Oh, I didn't hear you say.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you heard me. Let me play guest ownership with a couple of my GPP lineups here. Hold on.
Oh, that's so tough. None in Trae, Ram, and Bam.
I'm overexposed. Langston Galloway 40%. What do you think his actual ownership is?
I think Nunn and Trae are safer, Jerome, and I think that's the safer play for a single entry GPP. I like Graham, man, but the Bam price tag kind of scares me. I think I'd rather go up and get Trae and then save on Nunn. Go ahead, Matt.
I'm about to live or die with Langston Galloway's ownership right now. What do you think it's at?
1.2%.
Yeah, 2%.
What was it?
2%. 2.02.
Yeah, guys, trap.
Okay.
Young, Nunn, Bogda, Maker, Randall, Doncic, Kleber, Bradley. Will I cash? Yes, I think you will. Yep. That is legitimately the lineup that I have, except I have Fox instead of Randall. So.
I don't have too much from the first game. I can tell you what, if Detroit scores more than 100 points, I'm sitting pretty. I can tell you that right now.
Should we do another bet?
If they're going over 98.75 points.
I love that Wood number at 9% in a single. Dude, like if he can stay out of foul trouble, like him and McCour can stay out of foul trouble against Embiid, like Christian Wood rates out very well on our sheet, and he's been incredible since I got rid of Drummond. Yeah, so if he can stay out of foul trouble, he could definitely have a big night. Again, Embiid's back. We don't know. I still didn't see anything about a minute restriction for him. So
yeah, if he's out, then they're definitely going to cover that.
Yeah. All right, guys. Any last minute questions? Because if not, I gotta go. I'm on dinner duty tonight, unfortunately, so can't hang out for too long.
Don't burn it. Or set off a fire alarm.
It's just chicken, so I'm just gonna throw it on the cast iron.
Nope, I don't see any more questions. I'm gonna get off because I have to pee too. So.
And my brain is kind of a little wonky after that. I hope everybody was able to take advantage. I mean, I know I gave the 5 starting guys tonight for cash, and then I gave 2 of my locks. So I hope everybody was able to at least get somewhere in the area. And I hope I don't let a lot of people down. So
I hope you guys appreciate what we do too, because this is not easy doing this. Like, there's no way I could do this by myself. You guys saw me attempt to do it last night, and it was just tough. It is tough. So thanks for sticking with us. Hopefully we give you guys an edge. So with all that being said, guys, have a great Wednesday. Right? Today's Wednesday. Holy cow. And send in your screenshots if you guys win big. I want to see them in the Discord. I want to see them in their DMs. I want to see them in general, guys. We love to watch you guys win. Have a great night, guys. Let's cash.
Kevin, go Fox. Good night, guys. Have a good night.
Forever I'll follow, you'll be my holy ground. You forever I'll follow, in immortality. I can see you and me.
Yeah.